Welcome to the October Assessment Task Skills Builder tutorial. The object of the exercise now is to show you the October assessment task that you carried out in its entirety, the way in which we feel that you would benefit from doing it in your exam, so that you're able to get everything done within the time frame that the exam board specify. So up in front of me is the October assessment as you were given it. Obviously the first job that we need to do is actually start to build a task list. Now a task list starts with the first thing, which is to read the specification, in this case the PowerPoint, from start to finish, just to make sure you understand exactly what it is that you're being asked to do. So let's have a look at our task. Okay, we are creating a web page or site for Kids Zone Soft Play. The audience are the parents, the guardians of the children, and the age range is 3 to 10, and the purpose is to showcase what's on offer at the play centre. So let's just have a look what they want us to do. So we're going to have to create a template in Dreamweaver from the design on the following pages. We'll need then to create a home page and save it as a home HTML in a folder. Okay, so we're going to create the website, create the template, save the template, and use the template to create that home page. So far so good. So let's have a look at exactly what we've got to do. We need to have a banner on our page, on our template, and the banner should be 1366 pixels by 150 pixels high. So let's make sure now that we're making a note of these things. The banner should be lowercase, so therefore no capitals, and the balloon image should appear on it without the background. The banner should be a bright darkish orange, and they've given us the hex colour to put on it. The website itself, or rather the home page, because we're only actually going to create the home page from the website, will be saved in the O Drive folder called Soft Play, so we know we've got to create a folder, and we need to create a template and save it into that folder. We need to create the website and copy all the assets used into an assets folder. So we're going to have to copy all of the assets that they've given us into our own assets folder. We're going to need to add alt text to images if appropriate, or to anything that we add, so that if a screen reader is used, obviously it will tell the user of that screen reader exactly what it is on the page, because they won't be able to see it as well as we do. So they've given us an idea of what the template is supposed to look like. They've given us where the editable area is that they want to have included. They've said that the template needs to have 3 buttons, and the colour choice is ours. So although they've put them in blue, green and purple on theirs to start off with, that colour choice is up to us, so we have a choice there. They've given us a model of the outcome. They've told us this is exactly what we would like your page to look like. Couple of things to note on there: the images from the folder that you are getting the assets from actually need to be saved as PNG, so we need to go back in a minute and check if what they've given us is a PNG, or whether we've got to do some conversion work there. Text copied in with a simple sans serif font, so they've told us exactly which font that we need to do. The last slide here, which tells us what our expected outcomes should be. So they're telling us we definitely need to have a folder on the O Drive called Soft Play, a template saved in there in a templates folder, a home page saved in that Soft Play folder, and an asset subfolder with all the banner and the images that we've used. And the home page should load up on Internet Explorer and show a website similar to the model, which was this one here. Okay, so I've read that through once now, and I think I know what I'm about. And as I said, my first job is to actually create a task list. So I'm actually going to just click on the search button here, and I'm going to type in ST, and I'm going to bring up my sticky notes. I like sticky notes because I can just bring up a sticky notes file. Here we go, and I can actually start typing on here straight away. So the first thing that I'm going to do is obviously say that the first task I was going to do was read the specification. My second task is to create some folders. We know we're going to need to create the folders, so we might as well pop that on there. And we know it's going to be the O Drive. specify that anyway. So create folders in O Drive, and they should be soft play and templates and assets subfolders. So that's that bit done. Third thing that we need to have a look at, we're going to need to create the Dreamweaver website. Now, most of you will know this already, that when you actually go into Dreamweaver, the first thing you need to do is actually set up the website so it creates a set of folders within that softplay folder, so that you can actually create the website that you're desiring. So create the website folder in the softplay folder. Let's make sure. There we go. Fourth item that I need to do, I need to create a template. Now the template we know already is going to be a width of 1366. It's going to be the same width as the banner. Okay. We know from previous excursions on Dreamweaver that actually a website height of about 800 would probably be about right. Obviously it is a personal choice and they haven't specified, so that is entirely up to you, but I would say a nominal size there of 800 would be good. Right, fifth thing that we know that we need to do, we need to create a banner for the template, and we're probably going to have to do that in Fireworks, because we actually want to create that as a separate entity, so we're creating an asset because that's what they've asked us to do. Okay, the banner itself is going to be again 1366 pixels wide, and they've told us that it needed to be, if I remember rightly from what I read there, 150 pixels in height. Let me just confirm that that is the case. Where does it say about the banner? Here it is. So what did it say? Yeah, 1366 by 150 pixels. So we know that that's right. So that's done. Next item on the agenda, I think, is probably to convert the assets, because I'm pretty certain if we go to the assets folder, I'm going to go do that now, and if I change the view on that, so if I change the view to details, there we go, and yeah, I can see there that the balloons, the soft play, ball pit, the cafe, so the three major pictures that are on the site have all been saved there as JPEGs. So although I need to actually copy that whole folder over, I am then going to have to convert. So I'm going to have to convert assets to PNG format. And number 7, I'm going to need to create an editable area on template for the content. Number 8, I need to create navigation buttons. On the template again. So this is specifying exactly where we're doing these individual tasks. Number 9 here, I need to create the home page. So create the home page from the template that I've created. Now where I've got about template, and I'm just going to put in there include alt text, just to remind myself that I need to include alt text on the items that I'm creating. And 10th item, which will probably finish it off, is add the text to the home page. Put it there, that was a sans serif font, and make sure it's saved. Ooh. Make sure it's saved as an .htm file. And while we're on the point then, so let's have a go back to the bit where we're saying about create the template, include alt text, and we probably ought to put on there save as a .dwt file, which is a dynamic web template file. So make sure when you do your save as of your template that you've actually created that as a DWT file. So that probably finishes off my task list. That I think gives us everything that we need to do, and all I need to do now is go about those jobs and make sure that I'm doing those in an order that is sensible and doesn't cause me any time loss in any shape or form. So the first thing I need to do is create my folders. So I'm going to go now and I'm going to create my folders. Obviously in your case you're going to be creating them somewhere else, but I'm actually going to create one now for myself, and I'm just going to call it soft play. So I'm just going to create a new folder and I'm going to call that soft play. I'm creating it on my little digital drive that I've got, but yours will be in the O drive. So there we go, I've created my folder called soft play. I'm going to go into that, and I'm also going to create the subfolders now while I'm at it. So right click, new folder. First one I need is templates, and this is because we know that Dreamweaver is going to need these folders. Okay, it uses these folders, so if we know to do it straight away, it saves us a bit of time. And that one of course is assets. Okay, so that's my folder structure done already, and that's soft play. Next thing I'm going to do from my list of items is, of course, I'm actually going to create the Dreamweaver website within this soft play folder. So if I now actually go to the search thing, type in DRE, bring up Dreamweaver, and as the splash screen comes up, of course, it will give us that choice hopefully to do what we want and go here to the Dreamweaver site. Now should your Dreamweaver site splash screen not come up, don't panic, because you can actually get to that bit that we're going to go to by actually going to new site. Okay, that will bring up exactly the same thing. So we're going to put Dreamweaver site, which is effectively, I'm going to call it soft play, much the same as yours would have been, and I'm now going to navigate to the drive that I wish to use. In this case it's my digital brain, so I'm going to go to that. There's my soft play folder. Okay, so I'm now going to create my website within that soft play folder. Selected and save, and immediately down here in the bottom right hand corner it shows the local files as being my soft play folder, with the templates and the asset folders showing there as well. Once I've done that, I simply go to more on the menu here on the middle column, and I'm looking to create a blank template. It will be an HTML template. Okay, and hit the create button. Straight away it brings me up a blank page, and in there I'm just going to go to the page properties and I'm going to zero the margins. That will have the effect of putting the cursor right up in the top left hand corner so that it isn't floating a little way off, because when we don't do that, Dreamweaver for some reason doesn't quite put it in the corner. So there's my cursor right in the top corner, and I'm straight away going to do an insert, and I'm going to start on my job, which is to create the template. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to use layer objects, and I'm going to put in an AP div. Now my first div will always be setting up the page size that I need, and everything else goes inside this div. Now I know from the banner size that I'm creating, the width of this particular div is going to be 1366. Now I'm going to go here and I'm going to search out the properties. So if I pull that up there, I can now see the properties for this AP div, and I can see the width there. I'm going to change it to 1366. I'm going to go to the height, and I'm going to make that the nominal 800 that I said about when we're doing the task list. Okay, and click on that, and that's immediately created my web page. size, the one I wanted. I'm actually going to take this down to about 70% in terms of the magnification of what I can see. That allows me to see my web page in its entirety, or my template in its entirety. I can now add other things to that. I would like to now add a bit for, or a div to accommodate the banner. So I'm going to put that in there now. Again, I'm going to change the width to 1366, and I'm going to change that height to the 150 pixels, which I believe it was. Just bring up the thing again. Yeah, it's 150 pixels creating the banner, so we know it's going to be that. So I'll make sure that I've created a div that will accommodate that. Now, we're going to have to create a place to put our navigation tools, those 3 buttons. So I might as well again do that straight away. So I'm very quickly going to create another div, and I'm actually going to move this one down. I'm going to pop it just underneath the banner. Again, I'm going to make this 1366. So it goes all the way across, the same size as the banner. The buttons later in it I can make slightly smaller so that they don't necessarily go the whole width, and I'm going to set this to about 50 pixels in height, and that will give me a nice little space to put my buttons when I'm ready. You can use, if you highlight the divs, you can actually move them just by using the arrow keys, just to pop them into whatever space you want. And there you go, I've popped that right in tight, so it's where I want it. And at the bottom there, we are going to have to create an editable region, so I might as well actually put that in now, because again I've got the top banner at 150, I've got my navigation bar at 50, so I've used 200 of my 800 pixel height, so I know that I've got 600 left. So in fact I can do this now. I can put my AP div in, I can move it down to underneath the navigation, and I can set that again to a width of 1366, and I can set the height to 600, and I know that actually now that is the right size, and there we go, it's the right size for the page. So that's my page divided up and the divs already created. So at this stage I'm actually now going to do a file and save as, and template, it says doesn't have any regions. Well, that doesn't matter at the current moment in time, because we will put those editable regions in just a minute. I'm going to click OK. I'm now going to change the file type, as I said, to DWT, which is what I reminded myself to do on my task list. Okay, I need to now navigate, of course, to my digital brain and pick up my soft play folder, because I'm actually going to put my template in there, and I'm going to put a title on it. I'm actually going to call it soft play template. So soft play underscore template. So I'm in no doubt as to which one I'm using. Oh, missed off a Y there. Let's pop that in now. Bang. Okay, so there we go. Up in the corner there you can see that is a soft play template. Now I'm going to need to create my banner, so I'm going to drop out of Dreamweaver, checking details. I need to create a banner, and that needs to be 1366 again by 150 tall. I didn't write on there, obviously. What I probably should have done is that I need so it needs the title of the play center in white, lowercase, and what else do we need? We need picture of balloons without background, just so I don't forget. So I'm now going to go and search out fireworks, open fireworks. If the splash, if you think your fireworks is not working, do check. Sometimes it sends up a thing about doing in a survey or something like that. It's another splash screen which will appear behind the one that you've got up. Check and make sure that is answered with a negative, so then the fireworks will actually spring to life. Otherwise it may look as if your fireworks is not working. Always select the new one, so new PNG, which is absolutely fine. Luckily for me, I've done one of these before, so I've already got my width in there. My heights, I'm going to change to the 150 that we've just confirmed. I'm going to leave resolution at 96. Some of you, it might come up as 72. I would change it to 96. Just gives just that little bit of extra depth on the colours. Again, as you might have guessed, I have done one of these before, so that custom colour is up, but I'm going to show you how to do it again anyway. Okay, to get that custom colour up, you could have just copied and pasted from the PowerPoint that you had, but once you've done that, you must actually select on your keyboard the enter button with the arrow. It's actually the return key, not the enter button. Okay, so it's the one with the arrow on it, not the enter button. So although it says enter, it's enter with the arrow on it, which is actually originally the return button. If you click on that, then it will actually select the orange there for you, and you can click OK and apply it. If you don't, and you actually hit the enter button, it won't save that number. Okay, and therefore you'll wonder why it didn't select the right colour. So once I've done that, I need to actually finish getting the bits and pieces in. I'm actually now at this stage going to go back to the assets folder where all the original assets were given to us. Okay, because at some stage on my thing it says that I need to copy the assets across. I'm going to need to start using them now, and I'm in Fireworks, so I might as well actually save time and do everything all at once. So actually I'm going to go here, I'm going to pick up the assets that we were given. So there's all the assets that we're given, so I'm literally just going to select the whole lot. I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy, and then I'm just going to navigate to my soft play folder and go into my assets and drop them all in there. So I paste the whole lot in. It should take a couple of seconds. There, job done. So now when I go into my Fireworks, I can go to this file, I can import, I can look at this PC, I can go to my digital brain, go to my soft play and assets, and get my balloons picture straight in. I'm actually going to drop it onto the banner there. A little bit too big at the moment. Might just undo that actually, if it'll undo. Is it going to undo? It's not. Okay. So let's try the edit. Okay. At least now it's given me the chance to edit it. So sometimes when this happens, Fireworks can be a real pain. And if this happens to you where you find that you can't edit it the way that you'd like to, which I'm clearly not able to do, I'm not going to waste any time actually. I'm just going to do new, and I'm going to go again, because actually I'm not going to waste any time. So in the file, I'm going to import back to where I was and click open. This time I'll do it properly, hopefully, and drag it. There we go, drag it to the size that I actually want it. Let it go. Now it's better. I can now move that to where I need it to be. I'd like mine to be this end, not too close to the end, but just enough. Right, we need to be without our background, so I'm immediately going to pick up the magic wand, click on one side there, hit the delete button, click on the other side, hit the delete button, and go in between the go in between the strings and get rid of the bits there as well, so that we've got no white background showing, as it specifically tells us that we shouldn't have it. Okay. Might do one more just here actually. Just see about those bits in there. No, let's get up. Okay, so that's job done there. We want to put the kids zone stuff in, so I'm actually just going to put this about in the middle, and I'm going to then get the text tool, and I'm going to create a text box here. And the writing that we want in is kids zone, soft play, center. Centers actually. This is where we need to just check back and make sure that we've got it. So it's kids zone, soft play, centers, exactly as it's there. So pop back into that. I now need to just highlight that. I'm going to change it to a font size of my choice, so I'm going to go up to, I don't know, let's try 72 and see what that looks like, and I'm going to change my colour to white. Okay, so there's my Kids Play Soft. That looks good, exactly as they've got it on their banner, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to file, I'm going to do save as. Obviously I now need to save that as a banner, so I'm going to go to mine, soft play again. I'm going to put it in my assets because that's where we're told we need to store everything, and I'm going to call it banner. So job done. Now, as I said, we're in Fireworks, so we might as well do the things that we need to do while we're in here. So I'm actually now going to do File, and I'm going to do New. I'm actually going to change this to about, I don't know, about 400 width to about 300 tall, because that will give me a little box in the center here. Doesn't matter so much about the background at the moment, but I am going to change it on mine because I want to be right. I've got the right one, so I'm just going to quickly customize this and make that white as well. Click it again, so now I've got that little white background. All I'm simply going to do is I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go Import, and I'm going to import my ball pit. And I'm just going to stick my ball pit in here. And there's my ball pit. I need to modify the canvas just a fraction. So, canvas size. I'm just going to take that down, that height down to 250. Okay, and then I'm just going to click on here and just put it down a bit. I've already got our ball pit, and then I'm just simply going to do File, Save As, and of course I'm not going to save it as a PNG, so I'm just going to call that ball pit. So save it as a PNG, job done. I can actually then undo that and that and that, and I can modify the canvas size because now I need it to be 250. So 400 by 250 just to change it. That's more like it. So then I can do File and I can do Import, and I'm going to now get my climbing frame. And my climbing frame will now go in from this top corner. There we go, like that. And I'm just going to now File, Save As. Once again, it's going to save it as a PNG, so I'm just going to call that climbing frame. save that as a PNG, and once again come off that, do file, do import, and we're going to put our soft play calf in there. So, oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. So we go file, import, soft play calf, open. It's gone down here. Oh, that's okay. I'll just pop that in the corner again, drag it over. And there's our soft play calf. Oh, just want to go over just a fraction more. There we are. And we're doing file save as again. And we've now got 3 pictures in the right format, the PNG format, and you'll notice they are all exactly the same size. So that will be good for when we're actually dealing with our website. So we can now come out of there. We can go back into Dreamweaver. Instantly now we can go to our banner, our banner div, and we can go insert, image. We can navigate to our assets. We know we've got a banner in there. We're going to click yes, we're going to click OK. It's going to ask us for alternate text, so I'm immediately just going to say website banner. OK, and I'm going to click OK, and instantly it's popped that in for me. No problem at all. I now need to very quickly insert some editable areas here, because we're going to need one for the contents, and I would like to have mine so that those buttons for the navigation tools that I could edit at a later date. So I'm actually just going to insert a couple more layout divs, so AP divs. I'm just going to click on that div. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so that it fits in the size that I'm after. I'm going to zoom it along a little bit so that it looks a bit bigger, and then I'm going to do insert layout object AP div again, and I'm going to get another one. Do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to move it along so it's next to the last one. Again, I'm just going to make sure that we get it the right height. I'm going to zoom it along a bit again, and there we've got a width of 390. The other one that I put in here, if I can pick it up, was 354. So if I make each of those 350, we should have, so 350 is the width on that one, and if we do the same for this one, so again 350 rather than 390, and then of course I can get the next one. The height is 54, that one's 50, so we just make sure these are going to fit in. We know that this particular navigation bar, we set the height on it to 50, so that one needs to come down to 50 to make sure that it fits in there. And the last one then, insert, and it's layout object AP div for the final time in this particular section. I can take my div, I can pop it into position here, and I instantly know that it's going to be 50 in height, and obviously 350 was the box size that we had. And there we've now got our boxes in place. This one here might need to just shuffle along a little bit, so I'm just going to do that now. Same with this one now, just shuffle them along so they're right next to each other. And next thing I'm going to do is put the colours in. If I go to add properties here, and we go to background colours, okay, then we can put those in. So background colour, That's what I'm after, and I'm actually going to choose slightly different colours. I'm going to go with a dark green there. The one next door, if I can pick it up, if it will allow me to. There we go. And on that one, add property again, and we're going to background colour. And we've got let's put a orange in there, and then we'll pick up another one. Grab hold of the div, might be able to, might not. There we go. Again, add the property. So background colour, and on this occasion I am going to go for a nice dark blue, and that's our 3 buttons sorted out. What I will do now is I will actually create an editable region in this particular area. So I'll go insert and down this time to template objects, and this is where we make our editable region. So that's my editable region. I'm going to call it navigation, and click OK. And what we have now is we have a navigation bar which is editable. So our next job, of course, is to create the second and final editable region, and we've obviously got the div down the bottom here. So if we now highlight that, and again insert and template object and editable region, we're going to call that content. That's where the main content is going, and click on that, and there we have our template completed. So all the basics of obviously one thing to do now is to put the writing in on the 3 buttons. So just refresh my memory of what needs to be there. So it's home, about, and our centers. So I'm just going to write in this one our centers. I'm just going to highlight that. I'm going to change the font color, so I'm just going to go to color, which changes the color, and I'm going to select white, and then I'm going to add the property of font size so that I can actually make that something that I can change. I'm going to set that to 48 and see how that looks. So that's not too bad. The last thing I'm going to do there is go back in and actually align the text to center. That is text align is what I'm looking for. And here it is, text alignment. Use the drop down box, select center, and there it is, center of the box. And I'm going to do exactly the same again with the next one. So this one is, I believe, home. So I'm just going to type home on that one. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go in and change the actual colour. Okay, make that white. And of course add the property of font size again. Font size, change that to 48. And of course text align to pop it into the center again. So that one's done. Last off, if we can get it to click, there we go. And on that one Let's just check again. It's the about, isn't it? Yeah, that's the about one. So we're going to go about. And we're going to change the colour once again. Change that to white. Font size 48. And then text align. I'm going to center it again. And there we go. So that's our buttons done. That's our editable regions done. That one doesn't look like it's... oh yes, it has. There's our editable region. So, good. That's all we need to do there. So now we again can just go File and Save, as we've already told it what it is. The little star disappears from there. We can now close that. We don't need that anymore in its current form. We now need to concentrate on creating our home page. So we're now going to create a page from template. This is a bit where some of you have not seen this before. So we've created a template, so now we're going to create a page from it. We're going to go to soft play. Immediately found my template folder, and you can see it's got the template that I've created in there. So then I'm going to hit the create button, and straight away it's popped it in there. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the area that is the content, and I'm going to start putting in the content so that I've got something that looks like this final thing here, which of course was what we wanted. So I've got my navigation in there, so I've just got to put the writing in, and I've got to put the pictures in. Well, we know straight away that we've already got the pictures ready. So they will be able to go in. The only other thing that I need to do is actually pick up the text. So I'm now going to go back to my assets folder. I'm going to have a look at their info folder here. So I'm going to pull that forward very quickly. I'm immediately going to change this to sans serif because that's what they said it would be the right font. So straight away I go down the list here until I find sans serif. It doesn't look like it's giving me that option. Right, let's just see what it says in for sans. That's not looking for that. What about serif? That's interesting. We don't appear to have a serif. Right. Now, let's give me an alternative, so that's fine. So now I will copy that, and I will put that into my editable area. And I can paste in, off. Okay, because it's an editable area, of course I can actually select all of that text, and once again I can change the font. I'm going to change the size on this straight away because I want to make it about the 36. Okay, click OK, and that's popped it in there. I'm going to change this very slightly, so I'm actually going to make sure that okay. Now I'm going to go to the end of this. I'm going to go down one, so I know I'm in the right place, and I'm going to insert LAP div, so allow object AP div, and there it is. Let's put it in there now. Okay, if you remember rightly from what we did before, we know that actually if we have a height of 250 and a width of 400, okay, we've got the box size that we need. We can quite simply file, sorry, insert rather, gone completely wrong on there, apologies. So insert image, go to our assets folder. So So make sure we've gone to the assets folder. Okay. We want PNGs. We know the ones that we want, so we know that cafe was one of ours, climbing frame was one of ours, and ball pit. So let's just put ball pit in there straight away. Click OK. If it asks you to move this, do move it. Remember, it's a picture of ball pit in our alt text to make sure that we've got a description of what it is, and in it goes. I'm now going to insert again another AP div. Let's pop that down there, so I'm just going to take that, I'm going to drag it over to here, stick it next to the other one, and again I know that this needs to be 250 tall, I need to make it 400 wide. Okay, and again insert image, and we're going to go for cafe. Same again, so picture of cafe, give it a good description. Now that's jumped out of its box for some reason, but I can just grab it and put it back in. And there it goes. And insert again, layer object, AP div. Again, might need to pick this up from down here, which we do. Just pop it alongside the others. We're going to make it 250 tall again and 400 wide. Click on that, so select it, make sure we go insert image, and the last thing we're putting in is the climbing frame. So climbing frame, PNG is the last thing, click OK. Yeah, it's going to save it in the right place. We're going to call this picture of climbing frame, and click OK. And again, it's taken it down here for some reason and dropped it. I'm just going to pop it into the right place. I'm then going to do file, I'm then going to do save as, and I'm going to put my, what is my home page. I'm going to call it home page, home underscore page, and I'm going to make sure that it's an HTML file. So there it is, HTML document is HTML, so it's the second one down, just to make sure it's actually that. And take off the L and just make sure it's HTML and save. Now when we go to our live view, which we preview in Internet Explorer, we should have a fully, there you go, one Kids in soft play center with our three thingies, our writing in place, and our three pictures. That's it, job done. Everything works the way it should, because that's previewing Internet Explorer. Make sure that we save it one more time, just be on the, it's already saved, won't let us do that, we're done. That's it for the moment. Hope you enjoyed this and can see we don't need to rush anything. To get this done in an hour. In your exam you'll have 2.5 hours in total to produce a website. They may ask you to do a few more things, but remember to make that list to start off with so you know exactly what you're doing. We'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.